Hello, everyone, and welcome to Vimoh Live. This is a live stream slash podcast that happens 2 days a week. That's Wednesday at 9:30 p.m. and Saturdays at 9:30 p.m. Today is Wednesday, October 19, 2022. You are either here on the live stream on YouTube, watching it and commenting in the chat section. If you are, hello, welcome. I'll get to you momentarily. But if you're not here, you are probably listening to this as audio at a later point of time on Spotify, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, Ghana.com, JioSavan, etc., or some other audio platform of your choice. If that is indeed what you're doing, thank you. And use the audio platform that you're using to leave a rating or a review of the show because that really helps the program grow. And if and if you do that, this podcast will be able to find new audiences. And I thank you in advance. Today, okay, already there is a link pinned to the top of the chat. If you want to join and come talk about something, feel free to do so. Uh, I will be giving priority to people who did not get featured last week or are new. So apologies in advance if you're a regular and you don't get called on, because I do want many people to get on the show. And if the same voices get to talk every week, it becomes a little weird. So, as a general rule from now on, if you are featured today, skip next week. And also try to avoid coming multiple times in the same program. It's not a complete no, but try to avoid it if possible. If you have a bad connection, you have to come back, I can understand. But if you have come and talked for about 5-10 minutes and then you want to come back again, try to avoid doing that. Maybe you can try in the next week. So with that out of the way, let me just point out to everyone that this channel is monetized, and a good way of supporting is by clicking the join button below and becoming a member, just like Meghnad did. Meghnad became a YouTube member today. Thank you, Meghnad. The support is obviously appreciated. I know you have ulterior motives for being here, but I will not grudge you those, at least today, because you became a member. Another way of supporting the channel is through patreon.com/Vimoh, where you can become a monthly or a annual member. If you don't want to do that, you can simply go to my blog at vimoh.stck.me and make a one-time donation through the support button. Alternatively, there is always Vimoh at UPI. You can send contributions there directly. And the official website of the podcast is www.vimoh.in. But we will get to that. Let me now get to the comments at long last. Okay, there's a comment by Media Lords that I will get to later. Hello to everyone who's saying hi. Vairu has asked, anyone knows any good documentaries on the caste system or related? To which Vitruvian has said, please read Ambedkar's books. Yes. And then there are people talking to Meghnad. Kavan says, great cheese and paprika is an amazing chips flavor. What? I don't know where that came from. Jashman says, hey Meghnad, did you make the post calling Sonia Gandhi a dancing Bhargava, or is it a fake? I don't know. Maybe Meghnad can answer. Meghnad is doing a live stream later today. So maybe you can go there and ask him. Let me take on the first caller, who is Charvak. Hi Charvak ji.
Hello, hello,
Hello.
Vimoh.
क्या चल रहा है?
After a long time, I'm coming.
Yes.
So yeah, it's been some time because of some health issues and other things.
हाँ, you were gone
So
for quite some time. क्या हुआ था?
yeah. That's true. That's true. So, but in the meanwhile, I must admit there have been multiple crazy things happening. Do you think that even if a perfect movie, okay, because every time a Bollywood movie comes out, these people like the Hindutva gang just trends Twitter, boycott, boycott, boycott. But
Hmm.
here is a question that made perfectly, okay, Bollywood movie, and it has all the Hindu gods, the worship, the puja, the bhakti, everything, okay,
Hmm.
and the actors are mixed. They come
Hmm.
from, like, maybe it may be Khans, it may be Amitabh Bachchan, it may be Ranbir
Yeah.
Kapoor, any multiple.
Hmm.
So even if it's made perfectly in a way that is not at all offensive, do you
Hmm.
still think that these people will even have a change of mindset?
No, because we all know that this outrage culture against Bollywood is manufactured. It is not coming from genuine dislike of the films. And by the way, a
Yeah.
lot of people who make these hashtags trend are still going to do the same thing. Like I mean, they're going to watch the movie and they're going to go and say boycott, boycott, boycott. There is an
Eh,
entire culture of hypocrisy that is being funded by these people. You've seen the liver doctor shared on Twitter the other day that the
yeah,
there was
yeah.
some promotion of mud therapy apparently. Apparently, it can get
I
rid of
I
some
mean,
disease. Right? So there
okay.
is mud therapy, there is poop therapy, there is urine therapy. And none of these people who are making these hashtags trend, none of the powerful people who are doing official Sarkari press conferences promoting this shit, when they get the diseases, they will not go for this. This is
You know,
not an honest way of like they're not engaging with their audiences honestly. They think
yeah,
that their followers are fools. So what they do is that they're basically foisting a bunch of useless shit on their followers so that they don't have to spend money on them because healthcare takes money. Research, medical
yeah,
research takes money. तुम
yeah.
लोग मड़ लगा लो, मूत में नहा लो और टट्टी खा लो. हम लोग एम्स में जाके अपने परिवार का इलाज कराएंगे. दिस इज करप्शन. दिस इज वेरी बेसिक लेवल करप्शन. सो फिल्मों में भी वही होता है. द फिल्म्स दैट दे आर आस्किंग फॉर अ बॉयकॉट ऑन, a, it is not possible to make a movie that will not offend anyone. B, even if someone did manage them, they will still outrage because their outrage is not coming from
Yeah.
something in the film. It is coming from political motivations.
So, you know, one thing I must warn people. Recently, when I was reading some, you might have heard about PubMed Lancet research
Yeah,
papers.
yeah, yeah.
Even because of some family history. Okay, मैं पढ़
Hmm.
रहा था.
Hmm.
So, you know, while I was reading through all that, the surprising thing is there is certain bacteria which actually leads to autoimmune diseases. Okay, so
Hmm.
it
Hmm.
means when it enters the body, it becomes and mimics like a protein. The
Hmm.
autoimmune system gets disrupted. I mean, the immune system thinks there is bacteria, but it cannot identify.
Okay.
So that leads to many autoimmune conditions. It turns out these bacteria are easily infects the livestock and cows. I
Hmm.
mean, drinking a cow urine or even
Like when
putting
you
a
say
poop is
they
the
infect,
last thing you want to do.
wait. Are you saying they infect cows in the same way that they infect human beings, or are you saying that they cause the cows to
No,
become carriers?
in cows it can have symptoms, but in humans it doesn't cause symptom, but it leads to disruption of immune system, leading to
Okay.
autoimmune condition. So these
Hmm.
bacteria are like you might have heard about E. coli bacteria, for example.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Escherichia coli.
anybody who says you to put the cow dung, for
Hmm.
God's sake, please be careful, yaar. This is the
Wait,
last
you're trying.
advice.
I find it really fascinating that you're trying to prove that poop is bad for people. We don't need to go into science for that.
Yeah, I
It's,
mean,
it's pretty
yeah. In
obvious.
case
You
in
don't
case
need to.
somebody did
You
not
don't
know,
need to give me E. coli and bacteria and the, latest scientific research to prove that poop is bad. Poop is bad. It is. It's poop. We don't need to go into that much depth. But
recently, I think Europe put a ban on Ayurveda. I mean, they just got rid of that
did they?
shit
Was there
thing.
an actual ban, or did they just put some
I
labels
mean,
on it?
they told like it's not cannot be
Yeah, I think
promoted
there
in the
may have been an
same.
advisory, if I remember correctly, but I
Yeah,
don't think there was
yeah.
a ban. Yeah.
By ban in the sense like those things which dupe the public. Okay, public in general.
Acha.
Okay,
I don't know. I
that
have not
sort
heard
of
of
thing.
this. I have not heard of this, so I don't think I can comment on it.
Because one of my friend was saying when he opened Amazon in Germany, right?
Hmm.
So he was getting these ads of what Patanjali, and
Huh.
पतंजलि का गाय का वो चीज ये चीज कौ यूरिन वो सब मिल रहा है. He was
अच्छा,
shocked, यार यहाँ पर भी भक्त लोग मूत्र पीते हैं जर्मनी में भी. That's what he was sending me message. I
जर्मनी में
was
बहुत
like,
सारे इंडियंस
भक्त
हैं
will
बिकॉज़
have
दे
भक्त
गो देयर फॉर
mindset.
they either go there for education or for higher education and then they or for employment and they just stay there. And when they miss their motherland, this shit turns up in their ads. So what to do? क्या कर सकते हैं?
You
बट चारवाक आपका
I'm
आपका आखिरी पॉइंट ठीक है? आपका आखिरी पॉइंट बिकॉज़ 2 लोग वेट
okay,
कर रहे हैं.
okay, okay, yeah. So hopefully I'll continue to be active and let you know about
Yeah,
my future videos. I
sure.
hope to have a session with you on my channel so it can be discussed on uh,
Discord.
topics
Send me a message.
related.
Send me a message on Discord and we can discuss it there.
Yeah, sure, sure.
Cool?
So
चलो.
basically, my the main point of concern here is people just need to wake up, folks. If somebody is telling about nationalism, you need to look at around your surrounding. You have eyes, you have ears, just look around and
Yeah, that's true.
understand what the situation is. I mean, you heard the finance minister say, right? Rupee is not weak, dollar has become strong.
Yeah, my major problem with her was not that the dollar has not become strong. My major problem with that was that that is not the sort of excuse one should get from a finance minister because that can be said about anything,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
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 that was my main
yeah,
point. But I'm not a financial expert, so I'll
yeah.
not
Sure, sure,
comment on
sure,
it more.
sure.
But thank you, Charvakji. Thank you for coming,
Yeah, yeah,
and we'll
yeah,
talk again soon.
yeah.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Before I take on the next person, I'll just thank the super chats. Milind, thank you for the 100 rupee super sticker. He says, "Hello Vimoh, keep going and growing. All viewers, do join Vimoh and help spread rationality." Yes, please. Thank you. Vatsal has sent a super sticker of Canadian $2, $2.79. Thank you, Vatsal. Much appreciated. And then there is Milind again who says, with a 100 rupee super sticker, रक्षित हमारे गौमाता के पेट में 33 करोड़ देवता हैं और गौमाता के मूत्र आरओ वाटर से भी प्योर होता है. Who's he responding to? Who's Rakshit? Acha, was he talking to Charvak, whose name is Rakshit? I don't know. I didn't know that Charvak's name was Rakshit. But yeah, there is a comment here from Puneet says, Vimo, hope you're healthy and well. Many people have their entire entity wrapped in their religion and have sympathy towards the poorest. Is arguing against religion with them okay? And if yes, how? पुनीत जनरली स्पीकिंग मेरा एडवाइस वही रहेगा जो मैंने पिछले एपिसोड में बोला था इन एडिशन टू व्हाट तरंगा सेड इफ यू हैव नॉट सीन लास्ट एपिसोड प्लीज गो वॉच इट लास्ट टू लास्ट एपिसोड you should not enter into like atheists should avoid talking to people and telling them that religion is wrong unless they're pushing back against a certain religious narrative. Like if a religious person comes and says, "Hey, why are you an atheist?" then it's okay to start the conversation. If a religious person and says, "Hey, you should not insult my religion," then it's okay to start a conversation. But don't start conversations. Start conversations among each other about how to better present a secular worldview. But talking to religious people, it should be on a case by case basis. Make a decision depending on whether you think it's going to have any fruitful result. If you are standing in the middle of a town and you find a religious person on the bus stop, you don't need to. It's pointless. You won't change their mind, they won't change your mind. It's just going to create bad blood between you two, depending on how aggressively believing they are in their worldview, their religious worldview. So just avoid. If someone comes at you, use your ability to fight back rhetorically and do so. If you find someone who's actually causing harm to other people or to themselves, then definitely start a conversation. But in most cases, you don't need to. Mm, Vatsal points out PubMed is not a journal, it's a database, and of all published research, one needs to be careful when going through research because a lot of predatory journals can be there. Yes, that is also the case. Uh, right. So I will take on the next caller, which is Raja. Hi, Raja.
Hey, Vimoh.
Hey.
Hey, let's talk about what atheism is doing against religion, at
Hmm.
least in India, right?
Hmm.
Some, I think we are losing some basic, fundamental way of approaching the religion, right?
Are you an atheist, Raja?
Of course, I am. I'm more
Okay.
materialistic, but I want to know.
Okay.
I'm thinking because I've been atheist for more than 10 years,
Okay.
and
So
the
go
sad
on,
part
make your
is
point.
I'm not able
Make your point. Make
to.
your point.
Sorry.
Make your point.
So I'm not able to change anyone.
Okay.
I'm not able to change any religious person to think in my way. Okay,
Hmm.
or atheist way. Not only one
Hmm.
in my way, just not atheist way. So and I was thinking why I am failing. I mean, this is the same reason why every atheist are failing to change anybody's mind. That which is not a point, but we want to we want to make them think what they are going through is useless and is not going to give any fruitfulness, and how it is affecting them as well as the family as well as society. These are all connected, and when they are looks they following some belief, uh,
Hmm.
that will not having any issue to them, but they, this is the baseline of going into the hell, right? If they're following some belief, and because of that they follow something else, and because of that they will follow something else, and finally they will lose some
Raja,
money.
if you don't, if you don't mind me asking, what people of what religion are you talking to the most?
Any most of my friends and my family, they are Hindus,
Okay.
uh, but I couldn't have a chance to talk to other religions also, uh, but
So
anyhow, that's my point.
with Hindus, do you really come across this point of like this is the baseline for hell?
No. What I mean baseline of a hell means, think about this. Okay, let's say I'm a Hindu family, they are doing some puja, correct?
Hmm. Hmm.
And what happened? No, they are believing in puja. When doing this
Hmm.
ritual, God will come and
Got
they're
it.
going to get whatever they want.
Yeah.
But this is a very simple puja. If I ask this some basic rational question, they may get offended, or they may answer, and they may say that okay, even if you are right, there's nothing wrong in doing the puja because it's not harmful to me, correct? That's how
Hmm.
they will start with that.
Hmm.
But that is not that is a baseline, right? That they start believing something, and because of
Hmm.
that they will doing something else and something else. So
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
when
Got
they
it.
have
Yeah.
a problem in their family, they're not thinking very rationally there, but they think in a different way. For example, one of my friends who is doing business, they're thinking somebody has done some black magic to their business, so that's why they're not successful in their business. So they're
Hmm.
not finding out the problem, the error, what they made. Instead of they are putting the blame on somebody else, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
to take this negative energy back, they're doing a lot of puja. They're spending a lot of more.
So,
So
how do the
maybe they haven't,
conversations go? You said you have not been having a great amount of success talking to the people. How do you
correct.
go
Then
about
then then
starting,
I
and what?
then I
How
realized
do you go
that.
about? How do you start, and what barriers do you hit?
Yeah, so no, these are mistakes what I have done. When I start, this is the same mistake what every atheist was doing. If I go and say, "Hey, this is nonsense," they'll come back, no, this is correct and this will work. This worked for these many people, so this will work. That's how they will come back, right? So
Hmm.
I was thinking why they are thinking in that way. If you think why they are thinking in that way, then it is many things are more philosophical, and how to instead of we are fighting against the ritual or small ideas, we
Hmm.
have to fight against the philosophy. That is the main thing. For example, many free thinkers also, they are believe in Advaita. They
Hmm.
think that is true, but scientifically we
I
can
honestly, I don't know anyone who actually believes in Advaita. Like
why?
it's one thing to entertain the possibility of a non-dualistic universe, but actually thinking that the universe is non-dualistic, very few people do, and the ones who do are mostly very monastic in nature. Like they don't. If you actually believe in Advaita Vedanta, you are probably never going to have a quarrel with anyone, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't think people believe in it. And of course, another point because before you go forward is that talking about the philosophy with your average religious viewer is kind of useless because most people, if someone did not take a road to get to a place, you cannot take them out of that place using that same road.
You know
If they
what I
came
will
from
do?
somewhere else.
You are right. You are right. But so I'm my the person to whom I should speak to this is not a common person, right? I'm giving some advice to the atheist, like the channel like you. You have to pick some
Hmm.
person who is philosophically very intense and some religious philosopher. With them, you have to have a debate. You can ask for a debate, try to understand and tell them what is the wrong
That
scientifically,
also
what is the wrong
that
with the
also will
with
not that also will probably not bear fruit, because if so there are two things that can happen. If you have a private conversation between just him, them, that religious philosopher and yourself, it will not change their mind, it will not change your mind, and it will be a private conversation that did not go anywhere. If you have a public conversation, they have the added burden of having to protect their reputation because they are known as a religious philosopher. So you're not going to change their mind publicly. Even if you do change their
See,
minds, they're not
that
going
is
to
not
accept
idea.
it.
You know to change their mind. That is not ideal. You are
Mm.
throwing the question to the Advaita, the people
Mm.
who are all also believe in that. The people are
Mm.
watching that. You are throwing the
Mm.
question. The question is very important, right? The
Yeah.
question is
So
important
if
than answer.
you're saying we need to have public conversations, right? So that a third party can watch it and make up their mind.
Watch it. You are losing the ground or you are winning. That doesn't matter. You
Exactly.
keep
I agree.
on telling the same thing again and again. For example, it's very easy to counter Advaita. You can just say that we are all made up of matters, right?
Yeah.
So that will just to break. You know what? There's no Atma. There's no Paramatma, and nothing can be proven because of we are all made up of matters. Or the consciousness is an illusion created by the matters. That
Hmm.
is what science says, that the science, we don't know what is the consciousness is, but we certainly know what the consciousness is not, right?
Yeah.
Consciousness is not an energy. What
Yeah.
people are viewing that.
No,
So
I think as far as consciousness is concerned, we should avoid making any positive assertions unless we are neuroscientists. We should just go by what we know so far, which is that to the best of our knowledge, consciousness emerges from matter. And if at some point of time something else is proven, then we will happily go there. But for now, it is safe to assume that it emerges from matter.
yes, is safely assume, that is not the word
Yeah.
we should not use. We should not use that word because it is made up of the matters. It is nothing other than the made up of the matters.
No,
We
I think
can,
we should use the word assume, and I'll tell you why. Because the great conceit of religious thought is that it states things with great confidence, and that confidence is never warranted. When we say that we assume consciousness emerges from matter, we are simply accepting the most commonly, the most common understanding of what consciousness is. And if there is something more, we should register ourselves as open to the possibility. We should not say we know what this is if we don't know, because I don't think there is any consensus in the neuroscience community about the nature of consciousness. We don't really know exactly what it is. There is a best possible guess based on what we see and what we observe,
mm.
but it is always possible for new
No,
conditions, new
I,
knowledge to
I
emerge
certainly
tomorrow.
agree with you. We should not go beyond what the sciences tells. What all the science tells, that is our maximum point of view. More than that, we should not go. That I agree. So I'm just going beyond that, right?
Yeah.
So my point is the same thing we need to talk to our children as well as the kids are very free minded, right? They can easily accept it. Correct.
Hmm.
The youngsters are very free minded. When you talk to them, you can easily ask this question. Hey, people are telling when you die, you go to some heaven or you have a rebirth or you believe in it. So what do you mean the life? What is the life is made up of? You are studying a fifth standard or tenth standard. So based on your science book, based on your so far your study, what do you think of the life is? So these kind of questions, if we ask, that is within a family, but
Yeah.
society, we need to take this argument to directly to this kind of philosophers who are shaping the religious thought. I mean,
Yeah.
these are the people who are
I
shaping the
agree. I
religion,
agree that we should
right?
take it to them, but I don't think entirely honest conversations can be had with many of them. Finding really honest people is hard, and that is half the battle. If you can find some, you can have conversations. But
It is
mostly,
happening in US, but it's not happening. Deepak Chopra, somebody. So there's a conversation happened between Deepak Chopra and what's that name? Biologist. Um, I forgot the name. Sorry.
Who?
Sorry.
Who?
There's an argument happened between Deepak Chopra and some biologist, and then in US. So
Okay.
then this argument got is very few years before. It's not recent.
Okay. I don't
Uh,
remember. But
so
Raja, your last point, please. I have to get to more callers.
yeah. So my point is, we need to have this philosophical argument with the philosophers
Hmm.
rather than the common people. And
No, I
we
think.
also, when there is a common issues happen, if you, for example, in Kerala there is a one human sacrifice happen,
Hmm.
and people are thinking there is no religious reason for this. It's only just a money and the deed. That's how the media and everyone is thinking about. But I'm thinking there's a more religious reason for this. People believed in these kind of superstitions. They also believed in all other superstitions. They're not directly entered into killing a person, right? They certainly start with some small rituals that doesn't work out. Then they go to the second level of rituals. So slowly they go, and finally they realize that, okay, we have to kill somebody, we had to sacrifice some human, then only this will work.
Hmm.
So these kind of
Okay.
things, where it is coming from,
I would say
it is how it is coming to.
I would agree with you when you say that we should talk to philosophers, but I don't think we should not talk to common people, because the goal is to have public conversations, and for the first time ever we have a platform where we can do that, like what we are doing here right now. We talk to common people. A lot of common people have common arguments for God and religion, and a huge distance can be covered if we simply manage to debunk those. The philosophical arguments are, yeah, sure, go for it, but a lot of people don't actually believe in God or religion because of those philosophical arguments. They just believe in God because their parents told them to. So it's also important to talk to normal everyday people, but keep the conversations public so that other people can also watch them and learn from them. That would be my answer.
Correct, I agree.
So great. Thank you, Raja, for coming and talking, and I hope you return soon.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye bye. Uh, there were a couple of comments here that Peaceful Nook said thoughts on Omar Khalid being dismissed for bail by the court because he was an explicitly bloodless revolutionary. Opinion on the state of courts today. I'll wait for this to go to the Supreme Court because I don't agree with this judgment. There was no. If the UAPA defines that as terrorism, then plenty of us are terrorists, and it is an unsustainable way of doing things. This is the system working to keep an innocent man in prison, and that is my opinion on it. I will wait for this to go to the Supreme Court, and we'll see what happens. UAPA as a law should not exist, is my opinion. Shreya says, what are your views on marriage? It seems like a common trend for left atheists to go for things like open relationships and free sex. But for no apparent reason, I feel like this is an overcorrection. I'm an atheist. I don't know if there is any data to suggest that leftist atheists go for open marriages more than right wingers do. I don't think that is the case. I know plenty of right wingers who, uh, you know, uh, will go for open marriages, or if they are not in an open marriage will still cheat on their partner in order to, you know maximize pleasure, I suppose. I am not against open marriages. I am not against open free sex. As long as someone is not being hurt by it, it's okay. People are adults. They can consent to being in various kinds of relationships, and if adults do it, it is none of my business to tell anyone what to do. If this is coming from a moral argument, then I think you should examine where you think morality comes from, because it seems rather religious. Spark says, guys, like the stream. It helps in the recommendations. More the like, more people get to know that this is going on. Yes, please. If you have not liked, there are 60 people watching right now. Everyone like the stream. Hmm. There's someone called. He says, hey, Vimoh, I don't know your name. Can you give me a shout out? My name is Tanmay. Hi, Tanmay. Thank you for being here. And yeah, I guess that's a shout out. This is also something I'm doing apparently now. Next caller is Dr. J. Hi, Dr. J.
हेलो विमो व्हाट्सअप।
What's up? क्या चल रहा है?
कुछ नहीं, वही पढ़ाई चल रही थी।
अच्छा, go on.
तो जैसे वो बताया था पहले मतलब एक इस भाई से पहले एक और भाई आए थे अपने, जो बता रहे थे भी वो गोबर के और वो गौमूत्र के बारे में।
हाँ
उसको बता दिया जाए कि एनडीआरआई करनाल है, जो जहाँ पर मतलब जिसे जहाँ पर फर्स्ट क्लोन बना था इंडिया का, मतलब बहुत फेमस जगह है। वहां पर
ओके
फंडिंग हो रही है रिसर्च में कि इस गौमूत्र और इसको कहता है इसको प्रूव किया जाए, मतलब इसके ऊपर मतलब बहुत ज्यादा इन्वेस्टमेंट की जा रही है कि इसको बढ़ावा दिया जाए, इसको मतलब बायस रिसर्च निकाले जाए ताकि इसको बढ़ावा मिले। और मेरा
हमारे
मेरा
देश का मुझे लगता है इससे इससे बड़ा इस देश का कोई अपमान नहीं हो सकता कि 21st
हाँ।
सेंचुरी में साल 2022 में भारत की प्रीमियर
हम्म,
साइंटिफिक ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस मूत के ऊपर रिसर्च कर रही हैं। नॉट इवन
हम्म,
बिकॉज़ मूत के ऊपर रिसर्च करके कुछ नहीं मिलेगा, मे बी कुछ मिल जाएगा, बट रिलीजियस रीज़न से कर रही हैं। इससे बड़ा
हम्म।
अपमान देश का कुछ हो नहीं सकता। बट व्हाट
नहीं
टू डू?
वो जैसे
कुछ समय पहले एक काओ साइंस टेस्ट भी प्रपोज़ किया गया था, जिसके लिए कहा गया था कि कुछ लाख लोग अप्लाई करेंगे, पर अपैरेंटली किसी ने नहीं किया, इसलिए उस टेस्ट को कैंसल कर दिया गया।
हम्म, तो जैसे मेरा दोस्त है वो एनडीआरआई से वो कर रहा है, पीजी कर रहा है।
हुँ, हुँ,
तो उसका उसका उनका इंटरेस्ट है एनिमल बिहेवियर के अंदर, मतलब एनिमल कैसे बिहेव करते हैं, मतलब वहां पर
हुँ,
नॉर्मल जो अपने दूध निकालने वाले उनका बिहेवियर, मतलब दूध कैसे बढ़ जाता है अगर एक दूसरे के साथ रहे या कम रहे, उस पे था
हुँ,
उसका।
हुँ, हुँ, हुँ,
तो सर सर ने बुलाया, जो कि वहाँ का साइंटिस्ट है, कहता तुम गोबर में रिसर्च करो, इसके अंदर एक वो है, मैं नाम तो भूल गया मैं उसका, वो ना फ्लाई रिपेलेंट है, और गोबर
हाँ।
फ्लाई रिपेलेंट है, पर उसके अंदर उसके अंदर
गोबर में तो
बीटल्स आएंगे,
फ्लाइज़
और
होती हैं।
वो गोबर में
गोबर में
बीटल्स ज्यादा होते हैं।
अच्छा,
कुछ ऐसा था
आई
कि
डोंट नो।
उसका
अगेन
आर्गुमेंट ये था कि जैसे हाई
आई एम वेरी हैप्पी दैट आई एम नॉट एन एक्सपर्ट ऑन गोबर।
यस। तो उसका एक आर्गुमेंट ये था कि उसके अंदर जैसे हाई टेस्टोस्टेरोन बुल होते हैं ना, जो
हुँ,
उनके गोबर के अंदर एक नाम से कुछ कुछ नाम से मुझे नहीं पता, मैं भूल चुका हूँ उसका नाम, बहुत बड़ा नाम था,
हुँ,
एरोमेट पता कुछ वो कहता वो फ्लाई
हुँ,
रिपेलेंट होता है, उसको एक्सट्रैक्ट
हुँ,
करो और एज ए यूज करो फ्लाई रिपेलेंट के लिए। भाई मेरे को समझ नहीं आ रहा है, इससे सस्ता जब उसको गोबर वैसे तो मिलेगा नहीं उसमें, अगर मिल भी गया
हुँ।
और उसके अंदर इतना निकाल के तुम वैसे यूज कर रहे हो, इसे अच्छा सीधा खरीद के ना लिया। सर सर को मेरे दोस्त
पता
ने सर
नहीं।
को बोल दिया और सर वो हो गए, मतलब कमाल है इतने मतलब। और हम मेरा सर्जरी का जो टीचर है ना, जो सर्जरी
हुँ,
का पीएचडी है, मतलब वो बच्चों को पढ़ाता है, सर्जरी सिखाता है, वो हर
हाँ।
शाम गोमूत्र पीता है। फिर साइंस मतलब साइंस मेन स्ट्रीम के अंदर ऐसा काम हो रहा है हमारे सामने, मतलब हद हो रही है। हम बच्चे अब तो
नहीं,
हमको
गोमूत्र
चला
का पीना
जोक ले
कोई
रहे हैं,
नई
पर एज
बात
ए
गोमूत्र का पीना कोई नई बात नहीं है। लोग कई सालों से करते आ रहे हैं।
नई
आई स्टिल
बात तो
फाइंड
नहीं है।
इट डिस्गस्टिंग, बट
बिल्कुल
लोग
आपकी
करते आ
बात
रहे हैं। अब जो चीज़ अलग हो रही है ना, वो ये है कि सरकारी फंडिंग मिल रही है इस बकवास को।
नहीं नहीं, इससे और दिक्कत ये है कि गोबर का मूत्र अगर आप नॉर्मल आदमी पी रहा है कोई दिक्कत नहीं है, मतलब गोबर नहीं सॉरी गाय
हुँ,
का मूत्र अगर
हुँ,
नॉर्मल आदमी पी रहा है कोई दिक्कत नहीं है। सर्जरी जो कि मतलब एक साइंस है, उसके अंदर आप पढ़ते हो सेप्टिसी में भाई कैसे ऑपरेशन करते वक्त अगर आप मतलब बहुत कुछ बहुत ही पढ़ते हैं आप उसमें, भाई बैक्टीरिया
हुँ।
के बारे में सब कुछ पढ़ते हैं कि सर्जरी एक बहुत बड़ा
नहीं,
डिसिप्लिन है, कई
यही
सारे
तो
सब्जेक्ट
यही तो
होते हैं।
यही तो धर्म का सबसे बड़ा डार्क साइड है ना, कि ये अच्छे खासे लोगों को, अच्छे
हम्म,
खासे पढ़े-लिखे, अदरवाइज़ स्मार्ट लोगों को अपने कल्चर के जाल में इतना फँसा देता है कि लोग उससे निकल नहीं पाते।
हम्म। तो मतलब
बट
हम
थैंक
सर
यू डॉक्टर
सर
जी, आपका आखिरी पॉइंट प्लीज़, आपका आखिरी पॉइंट प्लीज़।
आखिरी पॉइंट तो थैंक यू, बस इतना ही था आखिरी पॉइंट।
इतना ही था? अच्छा, कूल, थैंक यू,
ओके, थैंक यू।
बाय-बाय। um, next caller is physics. Hi
Hi, Vimoh.
physics. Hi,
Can you hear me?
I can go on.
Okay. So first of all, I'd like to say that I appreciate whatever you're doing for the
Okay,
rationality community.
thank you.
It's seriously lacking in this country. So with that being said, my first question is, what's your star sign?
What's my sun sign or my moon sign?
Your star sign.
I don't know what my star sign is.
Okay, it was a joke. No, never mind. Bad joke.
That's
Yeah.
a funny
So
story actually, because I used to work at a web portal some years ago,
okay.
and they had this SMS Astro तुम्हारा दिन कैसा जाएगा service, right?
Uh-huh.
Which
Hmm.
means that every night, जब भी night shift होती थी,
Hmm.
there was this astrologer that they had. He would send by email the things, and some
Okay.
guy would feed it into the system so that the first thing in the morning the SMS goes out. जो कैप्रिकॉन है उसको कैप्रिकॉन मिलेगा, जो एरीज है उसको एरीज मिलेगा, आज का आपका दिन ऐसा बीतेगा. This was
Yeah.
like before smartphones. This was
Hmm.
the year 2006 or 7.
Yeah.
So one day I was at night shift and that tech guy came and said, "Hey, Astro नहीं आया, कुछ करना." मतलब मैं क्या करूँगा, मैं एस्ट्रोलॉजर थोड़ी हूँ. And he said, अरे कुछ भी लिख के डाल दे. So मैंने डाल दिया. ठीक है.
Yep.
The next day, the astrologer still didn't send it. And he said, लिख के डाल दे कुछ. मैंने डाल दिया. ऐसा 2-3 बार करने के बाद मुझे लगा, आई फेल्ट गिल्टी बिकॉज़ आई वाज़ नॉट एन एथिस्ट देन. अब मुझे गिल्टी
Hmm.
लगा. मैं सोचा
Hmm.
ऐसे ही लिख रहा हूँ, आई माइट एज़ वेल स्टडी अ लिटिल बिट ऑफ इट. सो आई वेंट एंड बॉट मून साइन, सन साइन, लिंडा गुडमैन का सब कुछ.
Hmm.
एंड आई स्टार्टेड मेकिंग मोर एजुकेटेड स्टफ. लाइक मैं कैप्रिकॉर्न को कोई ऐसी चीज़ नहीं लिखूँगा जो कि एक्चुअली कि पाइसेस पे अप्लाई होती होगी, राइट?
Yeah, yeah,
So I
yeah.
started putting it in.
Hmm.
And then eventually, obviously, it's bakwas and I stopped believing in it.
Yep.
But it is very useful when you're writing fiction. Like if you
Mhm.
have a lot of characters and you have not created specific character profiles for them, you can
Yep.
just, in your head, you can say, okay, this character is a Capricorn, this character is an Aries. And
Hmm.
it really works because then one character does not talk like the other one. And it really
Yeah,
helps.
yeah. Yep. Okay, so yeah. So my purpose for calling you is I want to try to convince you that even science, belief in science, the atheist belief in science, if he believes in it, is also based on faith. That's
Okay,
what
go on.
I'm trying to convince. Okay.
Go
So
on.
I'm an atheist.
Hmm.
So yeah. So would you say that believing in a proposition just because it's intuitive for you, like you don't like when I ask what's your justification for proposition X, and he just says, I just don't know. It seems really intuitive for me. I don't have a justification for it. So would you say
Hmm.
that he's believing in that proposition? His belief in that proposition is based on faith. Would you say that?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So could you tell me? So okay, so when atheists get asked why they don't believe in religion and why they believe in science, so the usual response is because religion doesn't have evidence and science has. So you can
Hmm.
assume that I'm a hypothetical religious person who admits that his beliefs are based on faith, and now
Hmm.
he's trying to argue that even science, even the atheist belief in science is also based on faith. Okay.
Okay.
So
Hmm.
my first question to you is, what do you mean by evidence?
My
Or
definition
rather,
of
what are your
evidence,
standards for evidence? Let's go with that.
there cannot be an independent, free floating definition of evidence because my definition of evidence would depend on the claim being made. So if someone says, मेरे कटोरे के अंदर एक लड्डू है,
Hmm.
then that is the claim that कटोरे के अंदर लड्डू है. And the
Okay.
evidence will be कटोरा खोल के दिखाओ. Show me the
Okay.
laddu because you can. The katora is in your hand. You can open it and you can show me. If someone says the Big Bang was caused by a conscious being, then I don't know what kind of evidence I can ask them. I can simply ask them, how do you know this? Because none of us know this. None of us have access to that information.
Okay.
Right? So sometimes the claim is unfalsifiable. But when it is not falsifiable, I can tell you the evidence I need based on the nature of the claim.
Okay. So let's go with a specific claim then.
Okay.
So, do you believe that Mars exists?
Yes.
Why?
Because I have read about Mars, I have seen Mars's pictures, I have read books about Mars and and space and the solar system, and therefore it appears to me that Mars is something that exists. Also, I can literally see Mars.
So, would you say that?
I
wha-
can see Mars, by the way. Yeah.
Okay. So, would you say that, like reading all those books? So, this would count as evidence, right? Whatever you said.
Hmm.
Would you say that it makes it more plausible? So, I believe in Mars because it seems that it's plausible to believe in Mars.
No, I'm not believing in Mars because it is plausible. I'm saying because I can see Mars.
Okay. So, okay.
Use
Next
another
question.
planet that I can't see, and then it will make more sense.
Okay. Do you know a planet that we can see with our eyes? Or okay, let's say. Okay. This is fine. So, why does seeing Mars prove that it exists?
Why does seeing something
Our
prove that it
ability to
exists?
see Mars.
Hmm.
How do we know the instruments that we used to see? First of all, this question. Second of all, why? How do we know that the instruments we are using to see is not biased in some way, or it's misleading us or something?
If I turned my telescope towards Mars and I saw it,
Hmm.
that would not be sufficient evidence to conclude that Mars exists. But
Okay.
then I refer to sky charts made by people from a long time.
Hmm.
And I see that the part of the sky where I see Mars is also the part of the sky where they saw Mars. Then I compare what I see to what they saw. I will compare the image that I saw to the images that are available. Then I would ask scientists who have also studied Mars and seen Mars. I am saying that I see something is evidence, but if you want to strengthen that line of thought, you can actually compare what you see to the frame of reference provided by everyone else's observation of Mars.
Why do you trust others' observation of Mars?
Do I have a choice?
You could not trust it.
Sorry?
You could not trust it. You could choose to not trust it.
No, I could not really.
How
I'm
so?
living on a planet where I am
Hmm.
having to rely on certain things in order to survive, right? Like
Yep.
breathing air is good for me, drinking water is good for me. And nominally, in the course of everyday life, we have to believe a lot of things. Some things are easier to believe, some things are harder to believe. Some things are impossible to believe because there is no evidence for it. And we assign levels of likelihood to various things. So if I said that this pen exists, you would believe me, I think, because you have no reason to think that the pen is not existing. And even if you don't believe that the pen exists, it does not affect your life in any meaningful way. But when the claim becomes farther and farther away from my common everyday experience, it becomes more and more difficult to believe it when someone presents it and gives no evidence to support it. So that's why I believe it.
Okay. So basically, you don't have a choice. You say,
Yeah, it would seem so. I don't have a
like
choice.
so basically, you're having to trust your senses.
I'm not only trusting my senses. I told you I'm trusting the account given by other people also.
Yes, but that information you got it through your senses, right? Even that
Are
information that
you
others.
are you heading towards solipsism?
No, no, no.
Okay, carry on.
Okay, so where were we? Okay, so you don't have a choice here. You say. So why does not having a choice imply that it is justified in believing that?
Why does
Like,
not having a choice imply that it is justified?
yeah.
Do you see the problem with that question?
Could you tell me?
I said I don't have a choice,
Hmm.
and you say why does not having a choice matter, right?
Hmm. Why does not having a choice then justify that? Then say that it's justified. Then imply
Because
that it's justified.
I told you I don't have a choice.
So you could be getting biased information, right, through your
Oh,
senses.
absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, my entire worldview could be false. I could be a brain and a vat, and all of this I would be imagining. But my question to you is: do you actually believe any of this,
No,
or are you just doing mental masturbation?
it's kind of like devil's advocate thing.
Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah. So, where were we?
Yeah, I have no idea.
Okay. Could you repeat, like in short, what you just said for the part where I asked for justification for trusting your senses?
I'll repeat in a nutshell.
Okay.
I look at things, I
Hmm.
see them through my senses,
Hmm.
then I compare what I saw and observed to the reports given by other people who saw the same thing. The
Okay.
more people who verify my thing, the more likely I am to believe in the thing that I saw to be real. Let's forget Mars.
Hmm.
Think of something very common like a tree. I went and saw a tree. I have no reason to think that the tree is not there because I have seen trees before in my life, and I will not rub my eyes and I'll be like, oh my God, a tree, right? I would do that if it was an alien spaceship, by the way, because I've never seen an alien spaceship and I have no frame of reference for it. So if I see an alien spaceship, I'll be like, hey, do you see that? And they will say yes. If they say no, I'm in trouble, by the way. But if they say yes, then I can compare. I can ask them: is that silver colored? Is it round? Does it have yellow windows? Is there a blue alien coming out of it? And if they say yes to all of these things, I come to the conclusion that what I'm observing is true. If if they and I are the only two people who see it, then I'm again in trouble. But I ask more and more people, and they all verify the same thing, and we come to the conclusion that what we are seeing is true. It is also possible, by the way, that every single human being I asked is wrong about it, and that there is some kind of collective illusion happening,
Hmm.
right? In which
Hmm.
case we use instrumentation. We use instrumentation that evaluate that area in space and see what is happening there. Why is it affecting our optical nerves this way, and so on and so forth. Basically, the whole game is about measurement. We measure on a very mundane level using our sense organs, and when our sense organs are in need of being questioned, we use more sensitive instrumentation.
Okay. Okay, I don't have anything to say right now. I'll have to think
Okay.
more. Yeah. So thanks for the conversation.
You should look up solipsism a little bit so that you don't fall into it accidentally.
Yeah, I know what it is. I think it's the belief that I'm only conscious, something like that.
Yeah,
I'm the one who's
yeah,
only conscious. Yeah.
yeah. I have talked to people who say they're solipsists, but I've never talked to people who actually believe that they're the only people. Because if you take their money, they will come after you.
Okay. Thanks, Vimoh.
Chalo, bye bye.
Bye bye.
Yeah. Mm. So I'm going to take Pranav on the screen for a second, who came out of nowhere. What's up?
Dude, what's up? What's up, man? I'm good. I was just listening to the previous caller, Physics.
Hmm.
His name was.
Physics.
So, yeah, that was a very interesting conversation. So, he was questioning the very nature of what you can call evidence, right? And yeah, I just want to add some points. Oh, by the way, instead of do you think that Mars exists? He should have asked something like, do you think that Antarctica exists? Because Mars you can still see.
Yeah,
Antarctica
yeah.
you can't even
That's
see.
why
Why
I
would you?
told him, like, use something that I can't see with my eyes, because that will
Yeah,
make your argument stronger. If
yeah,
it's right in front of me, why would I need secondary evidence?
yeah.
Yeah.
So I think so. Again, I just want to comment on what I would say to that also.
Huh.
Again, this
Yeah,
seems
yeah.
very
Please go on. Go on.
narcissistic of me, but yeah. So I think the answer to that question would be repeatability of observation, which is what
Hmm.
you said, right?
I was not actually
We,
talking about repeatability. I was talking about multiple points of view, but repeatability would also have been a
mm,
good point to make. Yeah.
yeah, the answer is, hey, what are you believing? Are you believing based on faith, or are you believing based on some reasonable something, some reason that you have? I'm not even saying it has to be evidence. You can be trusting someone who says they have evidence, and there are a lot of people who say that they have the evidence.
Yeah.
So are these reasons that you have for believing a thing, are they
Hmm.
reasonable, or is it based completely on faith? I
Hmm.
think that is the difference between believing based on faith and believing based on evidence. And this whole I the only thing I can know for sure is real is my own consciousness. Everything I see could be a figment of my imagination, even my own body. That idea is unfalsifiable. There is
Yeah.
no way for anybody to verify if that's true.
Yeah.
See, as far as I'm concerned, you may not be real. Nothing can be real, but I can never know that. There
Yeah.
is no conceived way. Yeah, same applies to.
By the way, Pranav, last week, so
Mhm.
let me break for a little bit. Pranav has started a reaction channel where he's reacting to stupid, superstition clips, etc. And he's also doing live streams. So, Pranav, I am hereby telling you that the last two clips on my channel,
Uh,
one is by a guy called, one was a conversation with a person called Panda, another one was with a person called Chinmay.
Chinmay,
And
yeah, I.
Chinmay, you can skip, but Panda's arguments, I think you
uh,
can do a reaction video to that and talk about how falsifiability, non-falsifiability works.
I
Uh,
was already
Primarily, the point, what I was fascinated by is that Panda's position was not that he knows this for sure. His position, interestingly enough, was that the idealism that he was presenting was
Mhm.
as likely as materialism. And there are problems with it, obviously, but I would love to hear what you have to say about it.
I'll take a look. I'll take a look.
Yeah.
But I did watch the Chinmay video. That was hilarious, man.
Yeah, I'm a
You ha-
physicist. Yes, I'm Queen Victoria.
I'll do a reaction to that for sure. But
Okay, cool.
yeah, I just want to pop in 5 minutes to say this. That's it. I
Cool.
don't have anything else, I guess. See you,
Great.
man. See
Thanks, man.
you.
Thank you.
See you
Bye
guys.
bye.
Yeah. Bye.
That was Pranav Radhakrishnan from Science is Dope and a new channel called Pranav Radhakrishnan. Very imaginative name. He's doing reactions and, you know, uh, live streams. Yeah, live streams. That's the phrase. Very difficult phrase to remember. Oh, hi, Golu. Golu is my nephew. Golu is here. Hi, Golu. Let me read a couple of comments before I get to the next caller. Vitruvian Man, thank you for being a member. He says, science is our understanding of this reality. If we believe in something, we won't question it. But in science, we do question. Yes, that is true. In fact, science is based on self destruction. Scientists regularly lose their shit when they find something and double check to make sure that they have actually found it. Mars exists since it's measurable. Measurable does not mean the numbers, but its impact. Mars exists since we can measure its impact. Air exists, gravity, time exists since we can measure it. Yeah. So, yeah, all good points. Aziz Morani, thank you for the $5, almost $5 super chat. Very much appreciated. He says, hello, Vimoh. Hello, everyone. Hi, Aziz ji. Okay, so that is the state of the commentary. Milind has sent a hi to Pranav. Right, so the next caller I will take is Kumar. Hi, Kumar.
Hey, hi, Vimoh. Can you hear
Hi.
me?
I can. Go on.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So thanks actually for doing all this, and yeah, long time I wanted to clear up my like questions or these things. So the other day when I was like, I mean, personally, I don't believe the. I mean, believe I don't have any beliefs. I mean, I used to have, but now I don't because of all the.
Kumar, there's a strange tingling noise happening from your end. Are you using a headphone or something?
Yeah, I'm using it.
Just get rid of it. Just talk into your phone. Yeah. And now you're on mute.
Sorry.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Go on.
So yeah, so other day, like in regular discussions with other folks or anything like that. So I mean, like looking at the folks like this Jaggi or Sri Sri, all of those, and looking at some people blindly following or to the extent of killing themselves, or sometimes like these reincarnation things,
Yeah.
and so I mean, you know what I'm talking about. So I said like these. I mean, yeah. Actually, the topic came from the lines of save the soil, or before that they did something for the trees and all of those. When we looked at the website, there is nothing. I mean that uh, puts any uh, what do you call criteria, or how do you actually save the soil. There's nothing, like it's all like publicity stunt or
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
make
It's a
so that's
marketing
what.
campaign. It's a
Correct.
marketing campaign to
So
sell mud.
right.
Yeah.
So it's just for them to attract into their things. Actually, my one of my friend also went there and stayed there for like almost 6 7 months. So that's how like I really got I mean irritated, and I pointed out that all these folks like who are studied in like very good colleges like IITs, IIMs, they're like going there and spending their valuable time, money, everything like instead, and simply they're saying your science does not measure this, your science does not measure that,
Yeah.
and I mean, why can't you spend your time or your thing in exploring that area? Why I mean, if meditation or sitting that many hours, if it is helping you, so why don't have any evidence for that or any uh, research or anything like that? So there is not much, I mean, answer for that. But instead, like the reverse question that came to, I mean, that happened to me was like, so even in science, like for example, like when they do all kinds of research, like and for example, like recently they said like Rantac tablet, like it has like a lot of impact and a lot of deaths happened because of that. And similarly, like all the research is like funded research, like big with big corporations like Monsanto or sometime back
Yeah.
Nestle, or still they do that. So
Hmm.
so the point I'm trying, I mean, the point I understood with that is like what the claim from the other side is like. So these are all like casualty things. I mean, casuals. With the science, there is a good, but there is a downside of this one where people lose their life with, in the
Okay.
science stream also.
Hmm.
This spirituality side also, a lot of young people, they're unnecessarily going to pubs or spending, I mean, wasting their time. They're just clearing the doubts, or they're getting mental peace, or by sitting or doing that yoga meditation. A lot of people are getting benefit with that. And when I say like, yes, maybe, but I don't know like what kind of benefit they are getting. I think even if they don't do it, they will nothing will happen. That's what I said. But they
Hmm.
are opposing that claim, and they're
Who did you
saying
say
that.
this to?
Sorry,
Who did you say
who?
this to?
These are all conversations happened with a couple of folks who follows like one fellow follows like Sri Sri, all that
Okay.
meditation,
Okay. So you're
and
talking
one.
to people who follow Babas in your circles.
Right, yeah, right.
Okay.
And
Okay.
they talk about, I mean, they seriously I mean, claim that this is also science, but as in science, there is a collateral damage happens with that funded research and all.
Hmm.
Similarly, in the spirituality also, like there is a collateral damage. People who blindly follows that stuff, it's like they're talking like it's end of the day, it's individual mistake. That's what they are claiming, whoever
Yeah.
it
So
is.
that is not actually true, isn't it?
Yeah, it is not true, but
Hmm.
what they are trying to ask is like, when you say like evidence all the time, how do you measure, or how do you like get an evidence for like, if somebody is saying that they're after doing the yoga or meditation, they're they're in a very good mental health, or very good peace with them.
There is some
uh,
evidence to suggest that meditation does help people mentally, right? So that evidence is not being denied. The
okay.
denial part is coming from the supernatural claims about, yoga and meditation,
Correct, that
because
is what.
some of the babas will say something like, uh, you know, uh, you do yoga and you will find ancient mathematical secrets, which is bunkum. You do yoga, you will find out who created the universe, which is bunkum. So we are not questioning every single claim. The things for which there is evidence, like
Correct, that is.
meditation helps mental health, that's okay. But the things for which there is no evidence, why would anyone accept it?
Correct. In a similar way, like say, like, for example, like I mean, after that they are saying like, once you get the peace, then you will get into a different state, then you will get into a different state, then something will open up, then you will get answers to thousands of different questions. That kind of explanation that they are giving. So I
Hmm.
asked them like, so some thousands of people or lakhs of people already did these things, right? So what is the criteria? Like, is there any state like, you will say enlightenment or full enlightenment or 50% enlightenment? So is there any criteria? How do you measure your progress? So what are those stepping stones, or like?
You ask them this.
Yeah, I asked them this. So
What
is
did
there
they
any?
say?
They said like there is no way to measure that. Everybody individual has to experience it. Every individual has to experience it by themselves. This is the answer. So
That
I
I'm
said,
okay with. My point is this: if someone is meditating and they feel that they're making progress with their mental health, I'm okay with it. Good for you. You are becoming a better person. That's okay. But if when you start making claims about, the nature of physical reality, then I have to ask you for an evidence, right? Because when if if their claims are limited to, I feel better, I felt
hmm,
50% better. Today I feel 75% better. Tomorrow I'll feel 100% better. Okay, good for you. But when you say I know 50% about the universe and I know 75% about the universe, and tomorrow I'll know 100% about the universe, I have to ask you to justify that. Like, what do you know? Let me compare it with what we already know. So when it overreaches into physical reality and claims about it, that is when we have to stop them.
Right, um, but that is what they are like. See, the question is like whenever we are asking for like evidence, like see, you have studied this much, you have this much, you are coming from IIT, IIM.
Hmm.
How are you like blindly believing these jargon? Like when you have like, I mean, you go to different progress or different things will open up and all. How are you believing that? Like what kind of criteria or what kind of evidence that they are showing, and why are you believing? How are you believing that? That is what I am asking. So when I
Hmm.
ask that, the reverse question I'm getting is like. Um, Even in science also like there is no what do you call like yeah, so they were asking me like in science, how do you like measure, like how do you, is there any research paper anything like that to show people's happiness, or like when they are like getting better. Say for example like they gave me just one example, like let's say there is one person who is like having everything, like maybe job or business or whatever, like comforts, everything they have, but they're not still not feeling good, or they're not peace with them, or they are not quite happy or something like that. So that
Hmm.
kind of person, so they asked me this question. So so there is this person, so what do you think is happening
See,
with that
see, my,
person?
my biggest problem with that question would be, if they are like, there are two things they can ask, right? Is there something science can do about this? If there is something
Correct.
science can do about it, you can say that
Correct.
science can do something about it. But if they say, can science tell us how happy someone is, then you have to ask them, can you tell us how happy someone is, right? Because if they don't
Um,
have a better solution, then what are we talking about?
Um, so like, I mean, I made a counter. I mean, it's not even argument, but I said like, if that person is not really happy or anything like that, he should find out. Like, he should introspect within himself and ask questions like, why I am not
Yeah,
happy.
got
He
it.
should, he should
Then
like
then
go
what
to
happens?
specifics. He should
Yeah,
like
then
go
what
to
happens?
specifics in his personal life or professional life, or if he's not getting any help from there, he can go to any therapy, right? You can go to
Hmm.
therapy and you can
Yeah,
ask
yeah.
them, open up. So these are all kind of, or even so these are all scientific methods where you can research and find out why that is happening.
Hmm.
So when I said that even if all those things are done, that person is still not happy. But when that same person, when he goes into this spiritual side and do all that yoga meditation and spend some time, he's getting better, or he's peace with it. Like, I mean, he's personally is happy without doing anything. So that's the difference that science cannot do, and here he is able to
No,
achieve
science can
that.
totally do it. People go to therapy and get better. People take drugs and get better. People make a new friend and they get better. People listen. People read a book and they get better. None of
Yeah.
these things are things that their guru can claim to have an exclusive authority on.
Hmm.
Everything that they're saying that their spiritual path is giving them can be achieved through everything through other means. It is not exclusively spirituality, right?
No, but that is what they're saying, right? They have already tried all these things, but it did not work out. That is when that particular person went to that
So that's what I'm
yoga.
saying. Like, if it comes to personal happiness, and a person has tried a bunch of things, and finally they discover that the religious outlook is the one that does it for them, as long as they're not hurting someone else, it's okay. Let them be happy. But if their spiritual happiness is ending up funding someone who's doing damage to the environment, etc., then you can point that out. Okay, there are
That
other
is what
ways
I
of getting
pointed
this.
out. Yeah.
Sorry.
That is what I have pointed out, right?
Yeah.
That is the discussion to begin with. Like when these folks like doing all work or spending all the money, I mean some part of money in that ashrams,
Hmm.
it's all going waste, right? So that is what I mean, that's the discussion started with.
Yeah.
That's the claim, and yeah. So when I
Kumar,
say
Kumar, please make your last point. I have to get to a couple of more people.
sure, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the last point is like, how do we like explain like? So when I asked like when I said like, in science there is a collateral damage of funded projects and funded research and all of that. So and with that also there are negative results. So how do we like counter argument, or not even counter, but what is the best way to come up with a
I would say if science is having adverse outcomes in any field and those outcomes are, you know, bad for people or
funded?
bad for society, then definitely oppose them. Definitely oppose them. Obviously,
But
and
how do
even
you?
people who are following no science, no person who thinks that science is the solution to any specific problem will tell you to ignore the problems arising out of science. But spiritual people, religious people, will always use this as a justification to defend their religion, and that is a problem. So, if
So
science is doing something that if scientific research into a field is causing some damage, definitely oppose it. But look at the good that will come of it for all mankind, and look at the good that will come from the scientific research. What the scientific research is doing, that cannot be done by anything else, but the purpose that spirituality is serving for them can be reached through other means, right? So science is not something we can compromise on because simply because you don't like it, or that your baba told you that it is not nice. We cannot live without it. Everything we have is because of it.
correct. Yes.
Spirituality is basically entertainment.
Right. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Chalo, thank you,
Okay.
Kumar.
Thank
I
you.
hope you
Thank you.
come back and we get to talk about that more.
Sure. Sure. Yeah. Thank you.
Chalo, thank you.
Bye.
Next person is Mr. Murani. Hi.
कैसे विमो?
अच्छा हूँ, आप कैसे हैं?
हाँ ठीक है सर। वो मैंने आपको 1 सेंट शॉर्ट कर दिया ना, $5 से 4.99 किया, तो मैं वो सेंट देने आया। पता है क्या विमो, पता है क्या, एक तो ये हमारे रिलीजन में एक सुपरस्टिशियस चीज भी होती है कि 1 पैसा छोड़ देना, ठीक है?
हमारे यहाँ 1 रुपया ज्यादा होता है। हमारे यहाँ 101 रुपया होता है।
हाँ, तुम लोग अमीर लोग हो यार। हम लोग दे के गाने में काम करते हैं। अच्छा पता है, मैं आपको बताऊं, जब आप सुपर चैट भेजते हो ना, तो उसमें
हाँ।
1 सेंट कम ही होगा यूएस से।
अच्छा अच्छा
और अगर आप सुपर स्टिकर भेजते हो ना, तो वो
हाँ।
इवन होगा $5।
अच्छा cool.
हाँ।
No, I'm not actually worried about that. I don't even know why I
know
mentioned it.
यार,
I hope you don't feel bad about it.
नहीं यार, मैं तो जोक मारने आया हूँ भाई।
अच्छा
तो वो सुपर चैट आप भेजते हो तो उसमें 1 सेंट कम होगा, और सुपर स्टिकर भेजते हो तो उसमें इवन अमाउंट होगा, जस्ट सो यू नो। हाँ
cool.
अच्छा जी, और क्या चल रहा है सर? मैं सुन रहा था आप लोगों को, तो बस मैंने देखा भी वो लाइव आया हुआ है, तो मैं सुन ही रहा था। अभी मैंने थोड़ा ब्रेक लिया, तो मैंने कहा चलो बात कर लेते हैं। आपकी बात करने
अच्छा
के बाद
what
जो है वाइफ से बात करूंगा जी।
what kind of a
हाँ
break?
जी,
Lunch break?
हाँ लंच ब्रेक लंच ब्रेक
Okay.
करेंगे, वाइफ से बात करेंगे, then I'll get back to work and then go home at about 6 o'clock in the evening, maybe 7.
Oh, it's 6 o'clock there. अच्छा
हाँ अभी तो यहाँ पे 12 बजे ना दोपहर के।
okay cool.
हाँ 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 हाँ।
So I
चलो
have a
सर,
couple of
बस
people waiting. Can I move
Sure,
on to them, or do you want to make a
sure.
point?
No. I have nothing to say. I just wanted to pay my 1 cent, so that's why I came.
Great. You actually had scope for 2 at least opinions, because people say, here's my 50 cents. Here's my 50 cents. You had 2 opinions open, but you didn't use it. So it's okay. Your loss.
I was gonna send you another super chat, saying that I showed you your cent. Here's your cent, but again, it will be a cent short on that chat as well. So तो उसका कोई मतलब ही नहीं था ना सर।
That's all right, sir. Thank you for the thank you for the contribution, and bye bye.
Sir, no problem. My pleasure. Bye.
Bye. Before I move on to the next caller, thank you Milind Sonone for the 40 rupees super sticker. Much appreciated. And hold on, यहाँ पे right. So I'll move on to the next caller, which is Kiran Srinivas. Hi, Kiran. Hi, Kiran. Has Kiran moved away from his phone?
Hi.
Hi. I can hear you. Go on. Okay, your audio is not coming through. You're not on mute.
Could you hear me now? Is it? Am I
I can
audible?
hear you. I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay,
now.
I'm just going to do a reverse 5 count so that I'm not breaking. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
That was very scientific of you. You're not breaking. Go on.
All right, great. Hi, Vimoh. Am I getting your name right? Am I pronouncing it right?
Yes, you have been on Instagram in my community for quite some time. So
I
yeah,
have, but I never knew how to pronounce it. This is the first time I'm having a conversation with you,
acha,
so
yeah, that
I
happens.
just
I was saying rendezvous instead of rendezvous until I was 20. So it's okay.
yeah, we all go through that, I guess. Yeah. Uh, I absolutely have nothing to opinionate. I just wanted to give a shout out. I think you're doing a great job with the community building. I think it's important. I think what you're doing is really a cool thing, if I want to put
Thank
it
you.
in a very plain, simple way. So I just wanted to give a shout out. That's all.
Much appreciated. Much appreciated.
Yep.
Thank you.
All right. Cheers. Good luck.
Yep. Bye bye. Good night.
Bye. Good night.
And the next caller is Kawan. Hi, Kawan.
Oh, hi, Vimoh. They
Hi.
really
Sorry. Sorry
should.
to sorry to make you wait this long.
It's okay. It's just that they really should give us a warning, like one moment you're just sitting there and then boom, the next moment you're on live with Vimoh. So, how are you, Vimoh?
I'm good. How are you? What's up?
Cum si, cum sa. I'm okay. Also, I I just realized, thanks to this live session, that I used to believe in solipsism back when I was in the second grade, like first, second, third grade. But I just
Hmm.
didn't know what it was called, and I just didn't know that it was actually a
Yeah.
philosophical position. For me,
Yeah.
I was just a kid. I used like when my parents went out, I used to sit in my bed crying, thinking that I'm gonna die someday. But then I used to have thoughts like this, and then it kind of made me really selfish because I used to think that. Uh, that guy stole that guy is bullying me, but who cares, he's gonna die one day because he's not real. I'm the only one
Hmm.
who's real.
Yeah.
And the
You know
only
what
reason.
cemented you know what cemented solipsism for me? I used to have these thoughts and I didn't take it seriously until I was
Oh,
playing a video game, right? The car is going, the landscape in
yeah.
front is getting built as the car goes, right?
Exactly,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So I was thinking, what proof do I have that the world behind me is actually there right now? And when I turn around, what proof do I have that that is there right now? So that's
it
where it came from. I think solipsism is something very basic that almost everyone considers at some point because it's a fancy
I
thought experiment. But yeah,
Yeah, I had no clue though. I felt the same way. The only reason why I felt that way is because like you said, I always saw myself as a character in a first person shooter sees themselves, and not as a
hmm,
character in an RPG.
hmm,
And I could not like transfer my consciousness to anybody, so I thought, okay, I'm the only one who's real, everyone else is a figment of my imagination or whatever. And also I used to have thoughts like, maybe I'm not even human, I'm just a dog sleeping, and when I wake up I'll be a dog again.
I've written
uh,
so many stories about this. I actually wrote a story in college where I die, like the main character dies, and he wakes up in a place where it's evening and a lot of people are lying on the ground, asleep, snoring. And there's one guy
right.
who's just walking around making sure that the dogs don't eat them because there are dogs, apparently.
Yeah, well, it makes sense. And yeah, a fun fact, I had a dream about you, not in a weird way. Recently I had a dream about you.
Okay, what was it?
In the dream, uh, I guess your channel became really successful. So you
Oh, thank
invited a
God.
few people. So you invited a few people to your home to like celebrate or something, and I was also one of the people who was invited. And as soon as I entered, like I was really gushing. Like it was kind of like a fan moment for me. And
Oh
then
God.
the
Oh, God.
the
Stop
wardrobe
having
behind
dreams
you.
like this. I would recommend every night before you fall asleep, watch a comedy like Thin Blue Line or Fry and Laurie, and that will give you better dreams. They're better people to focus on than I am.
Yeah, I mean, it was a nice dream though. Like, and apparently you had a. And just let me ask you this: do you have a huge library as one of your rooms?
I have this. This is my room.
Oh, oh, okay. Yeah, because in my dream you had a huge ass library as well, like a gigantic one as one of your rooms. One room was a regular bedroom. The other one was a huge ass library with
For some
countless
reason,
sheds.
my existence sounds better in your dreams than it does in my real life.
And yeah, also all the conversations that we've been having for
Hmm.
these past few days, these past
Hmm.
few live sessions actually, kind of reminded me of this book called Small Gods. It's a part of the Discworld series by Terry Pratchett. Have you heard of it?
I have. I think I have even read it, but I may be wrong because I read a lot of Terry Pratchett in one go, and I have lost track of which ones I have read and which ones I haven't.
Like it's really interesting. I found it really interesting because uh, in that world, the superstition is that the world is round, but the actual reality is that
Is that it's
uh,
flat? Yeah.
the world is flat on the
Hmm.
back of four elephants which are
On
standing
a
on a
turtle.
turtle that's flying through space.
Yep.
So like, and then they talk about how so these small gods are basically deities that are not being worshipped at the moment.
Hmm.
And then and then they talk about that discussion also, like if you don't observe it, did it really happen? They
Yeah.
frame it
Yeah.
in a way that if a tree fell in the forest and you were not there to if you were not there to witness it falling, or if you can't hear it thud, like has the tree really fallen? And
Yeah.
it was pretty interesting, like the way they go to philosophers to write tenets for their religion and stuff.
Yeah. How
Like
do you
that
know
that
the tree
really
has fallen though? If you're not there, how do you know the tree fell?
the answer is it doesn't matter. Like who cares if a tree fell or not? We just know that it's likely that we have seen other trees fall, so we can assume that this fell. And even if it doesn't fall, who cares? It's
Okay.
so at least that's the way I think about it.
All right. Great. Kavan,
And
I have to. Do you have one last point to make? I have to move on to the next person.
not really. I finished everything fast out of consideration for the others. So you're welcome.
Great. I wish everyone had your consideration. Chalo. Bye bye.
Okay, bye.
The next caller is Anugrah Tripathi. Hi, Anugrah Tripathi.
Hi, Vimoh. How are you doing?
Good, good. What's up?
What's up? What's up? So, Vimoh, first of all, let me tell you, I absolutely love your content. I
Thanks,
love
man.
what you're trying to do, trying to inject rationality into our society, which is currently very deprived of it. We can say, like, India currently needs a lot of rationalism, right?
Hmm.
And logical
I
reasoning,
don't
right?
do it because India needs rationalism. I think it's
No, no,
good to
you
have
don't
these
do it. But what
conversations. Yeah.
Sure,
Hmm.
sure. You do it because that's the kind of person you are. Of course,
Hmm.
you like to be. Rationality is a quality, isn't it? So it's not an an active thing that you do. So my question to you is, when did you turn atheist? At what age did you think, okay, religion, the conventional religion is balloony?
I became an atheist somewhere in the middle of 2019.
Wow, that's recent.
Very recent. Yeah. Yeah. But
So
I'll tell
you
you,
were
there is actually a 1 hour video on my main channel. If you go to
right.
youtube.com/Vimoh, there is a video that's like quite placed quite prominently. It says my journey from religion to spirituality to atheism. एक
Okay.
लाइव स्ट्रीम था अच्छा खासा जिसमें मैंने डिटेल में बताया कब क्या हुआ. So you can watch it and
Acha.
find out.
Okay, okay. This is very interesting. Can I ask you how old you are right now?
I will be 40 in January.
So you were religious for a major part of your life, right?
No, no, no. I was religious. I was kind of slightly religious, then quite spiritual, and then mildly atheistic for some time. And then middle of 2019, I actually said this is going to be a part of my identity now. I'm going to identify as an atheist. That's what happened. But watch that video, you'll get a fuller idea.
Okay, I will watch it. But what I'm trying to ask you is, so the existentialist questions never bothered you before
They
in your
did.
life?
They did, yeah.
It did, and you believed the religious part of explanation of these things,
Not always, but I thought they had some merit. It depended on the phase of my life. Like at no
right?
point of my life was I like the gods literally exist.
Right.
I was a subscriber of a lot of crap that, like, there is this entire kind of book that Hindus write for white people. Yeah, so
Oh yeah,
accepting, so open. Yeah, I was a huge subscriber of that. So in that way, I think I would have been described as a Hindu back then.
right. So Vimo, I for one is a person who thinks that taking any kind of stance, like for example atheism, and I know this might sound a little stupid to
Hmm.
a standard atheist, that you know, any kind of stance, including atheism, is
Hmm.
rooted in a bit of arrogance, because I think atheist is also sure of things, like for example, let me tell you, I don't believe in any conventional religion, right? I do not
Hmm.
think there is Lord Shiva sitting in the mountains. I
Hmm.
do not believe that there is, but I do believe that there are things outside of the realm of um, the primate mind that we have, that was evolved to run away from predators and to hunt in Africa. So
Hmm.
we are limited by the human experience in a way. And
I
we
agree.
are,
I
yeah.
agree that, like, listen, those are views that I have also had. But I would
Uh-huh.
like to object to the thing that you said that the atheist is sure. I
Hmm.
am personally, I don't know, I can't speak for every atheist, obviously, but I am an
Right.
agnostic atheist, which means that my position is that I don't know
Right.
if there are gods,
Uh-huh.
and therefore I don't believe that there are gods. If I don't know something, why would I believe in it? That is my position. I'm not saying gods don't exist. I'm not saying it is impossible for gods to exist. I'm not even
Hmm.
saying that it's possible for gods to exist. My position is simply I don't know, therefore I do not believe.
Okay. So the things that you don't know, you do not believe in. In a way, we can say that. Of course, when it comes to the question of gods, the we
I
cannot make
lack
these.
belief. I
Yeah.
lack belief in things
Mm.
for which I have no evidence, and
So
God is definitely one of them.
the conventional god, right? The god that society as a collective thinks, like a god with a personality, an
Hmm.
anthropomorphized version of a deity, right? That
Hmm.
listens to you, controls your life,
Hmm. Hmm.
and all right. So basically, Vimo, yours and mine lives are like, I would say, polar opposites. Because I
Hmm.
turned atheist when I was 13. As you can tell
Okay.
by my last name, I was raised in a Brahmin household, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
And indoctrination was heavy growing
Hmm.
up. And I just grew up questioning everything, because I could not understand some basic things, like why can't my sister worship God when she's menstruating, for example. And
Hmm.
I just debated a Pandit ji about it as well when I was 14 or 15, right?
Hmm.
And now right now I'm 30,
Hmm.
and I have come to know that a staunch atheism leads to nihilistic point of views, for me
Well,
personally.
it depends on what you mean by atheism, because I just told you agnostic atheist. Do you
Yeah.
think the position I have will lead to nihilism?
um well, no, I don't think so. I don't think
Okay.
but you're actively participating in a public place where you are trying to defend a side of the argument, aren't you?
Actually, I'm not. I told you my goal is not to turn people into atheists. I've said this in the last episode also. But I
Okay.
do want people to examine their beliefs more closely. Because what
Yeah.
usually happens is that,
Right.
suppose a Pakistani atheist is having a live stream. There will be
Yeah.
a lot of Hindus in the live stream who will be
Hmm.
totally okay. हाँ ठीक ही तो बोल रहा है, ये सब गलत है, इसको ऊपर क्यों विश्वास करते हैं मुसलमान लोग?
Oh
But they
yeah,
will
that.
not examine their own beliefs.
Oh,
And
definitely.
similarly, when I
Hmm.
am criticizing Hinduism or something else, there will be a bunch of Muslims in the chat who will be like, हाँ ठीक ही तो बोल रहा है, क्या बकवास विश्वास करते हैं ये लोग? But they will not
Right.
examine their own beliefs, and
Right.
they will not think about it, and they will not talk about it. And these are conversations I think we need to have. And that is
Oh
why I
yeah,
do this.
these
My
are
goal is not to
conversations that
turn
are
people into
needed.
atheists, because that's a very religious thing to do, like change people into myself. That is not
Yes.
the goal. The goal is to encourage self-critical thought and, critical thinking in general, but also people should examine their own beliefs, including myself. People come here and they make
Definitely.
me think about my own beliefs. So that's the
Definitely.
goal. Yeah.
Definitely. What I believe, my question, I would like to consider myself personally as an, I don't know, existentialist, maybe someone who still respects the mystery that is existence, someone who's not actively looking for answers anymore, because the answers don't matter. For example, I just came across this line of questioning recently, like, where does consciousness begin? I remember in your last live, someone was telling you how he believes that the universe is a super conscious brain and all that. That's a
No, no, he was
slippery.
not. He was not saying brain, but he was saying that the fundamental
Uh-huh.
stuff of the universe is consciousness. He was going for a philosophy called analytic idealism.
Okay, I don't know what
Yeah.
that is called, but what I think is, isn't life like something that happens in the universe? It's a symptom of the universe. Like that is something so miraculous to me. And Alan Watts said something about this. He said, "Watch a bunch of rocks, leave a bunch of rocks alone for 1 billion years, and they become people."
Hmm.
So I think this itself, I think it does for a majority of people, gives them hope, gives them belief that hey, there is something beyond our understanding. And I think
I
God,
would make a
yeah,
distinction between hope and faith.
mm,
Do you think there's a
mm.
distinction between hope and faith?
Um, wow. Okay, hope and faith. Now
They are different, right?
you're doing words with me right now. So I've left
No, I'm
that.
not doing words. I think it is very clear that there is a difference. If I hope about something, I
Right,
allow for that hope to be false, right? I
right.
hope I win a medal, but it is
Uh-huh.
possible that I will not win a medal. I hope I
Mm,
get to the bus stop on time. Maybe I
right,
won't get there. That is why the word hope is used, because it's a possibility of failure.
right.
In faith, there is no possibility of failure. In faith, people have like, I will get to the bus stop on time, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah. But
I think we should be careful when using the word hope and the word faith interchangeably, because it creates confusion.
I think hope is kind of like, I would say faith is a more rigid form of hope, isn't it? Because let's be fair. Like, let's take away the internet and all the all the information explosion that has happened. Let's take it away. Let's imagine man in his innocence, and he has no knowledge of the world
Hmm.
around him. And a really good example of it would be like the first settlers that uh, you know left Africa in
Hmm.
I would say in a boat, and they did not know what was beyond the big water body, right?
Hmm.
And the rationalist over there would have said that, hey, listen, everything that you're doing is against logic. We don't know and anything
I
what is
don't think that
beyond.
would have been the case. I think it is more
Uh,
likely that the people who left, the religious person was trying to stop them. The
now
rationalist would have been like, I
this is
no
where
no.
I
I think this is
yeah.
quite this makes a lot of sense. Like, hear me out. I think
Okay,
religion is often tied to the ground, right?
sure,
For example, look at Hinduism. Uh,
sure,
we have like places in India
yeah,
which tie Hinduism to the ground, right? So
yes,
there are the
yes,
Char Dham and everything.
yes,
Vatican, it's a place that
yes,
religion ties down. So it is
yes.
more
And
likely
Brahmins
that
Brahmins were not allowed to leave India.
leave India, or to
Yeah,
cross the ocean, because
cross
dharm
the
bhrasht ho
ocean,
jayega, pata nahi kya
definitely.
kya.
हाँ हाँ
So
बिल्कुल
so
बिल्कुल.
so what happens is that it is more likely that religious thought will keep you where you are, and it
Hmm.
is more likely that the rationalist strain of thought will ask you to explore more. It will
Mhm.
say, okay, we came from there to here and we found something. It is likely
Mm.
that if you go from here to there, we will
Mhm.
find something. So I
I
think that
but I
your
was talking in terms of hope and faith, right? So
which
I
we
think
have already established are two different things. Faith and
sure,
hope are
sure,
different things.
of course, and
When people set out
I
on a
agree with you
boat,
over there. Yeah.
to find another land, they're hoping.
Uh, well, I differ over there because let me tell you, bro. I believe that faith and hope both come in our like in our cognitive realm. They come where the factor of uncertainty is there, and anything you want to do has a factor of
Faith में
uncertainty.
uncertainty नहीं होता.
नहीं what
Faith में
वही
uncertainty
तो
नहीं
बोल
होता.
रहा हूँ
People who
मैं
believe
वही
in God,
hear me out
I would
hear me
encourage you
out
to do this. I would encourage you to
listen
do
listen
this. Go to a
just hear
religious
me out.
person. Here, listen. Go to a
Yeah,
religious person and ask them, is it possible that God does not exist? What
of
do you think
course
they will
not.
say?
That's what I'm saying. They would say there's not a possibility. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and that is what
That
makes
is
it
why I
not
said
hope.
faith is a more rigid form of hope, right?
No,
They
no,
have
it is
made it a
different.
mechanism. They
It
have
is
made
not. No, no,
see.
it is different. It is not. These two are not a difference of degree. They're difference of kind. They're two different things. Faith is not hope.
Of course, they're different things, but I think they are the same thing in different phases of belief. I think, for
No, I
example,
don't think. I don't think so. I
sure you
disagree
don't
with
think,
you
but
there.
you'll have to hear me out, mate. So
Okay,
what I'm
बताओ,
saying,
बताओ.
मैं ये बोल रहा हूँ कि anything anything a person wants to do in life, there is a certain एस्पेक्ट जहां पर एक अनसर्टेनिटी होती है उसके कंट्रोल में सर्टेन चीजें जहां पे वो प्रिपरेशन कर सकता है कुछ भी करने के लिए राइट एंड देन देयर इज दिस फैक्टर ऑफ अनसर्टेनिटी नाउ दैट फैक्टर ऑफ अनसर्टेनिटी क्रिएट्स एंजाइटी इन पीपल they do not know what to do about it right? And what happens is with anxiety is it creates crippling effects in people. Now what happens is that the things that they're supposed to do, uncertainty के factor के बाहर, the preparation वाला part, the things that they are required to do, it affects that as well. So people have made this cognitive habit of dumping uncertainty से related anxiety into pocket of faith. They're like, okay, I'll not believe about take a belief कि ये कुछ गलत हो सकता है. मेरे को ऐसे काम करना है कि ये सही ही होगा. Everything has to go the right way. This is like cognitive offloading in a way. That is what I believe.
I don't agree with you. My point is that जब लोग नाव लेके समुद्र में निकल रहे थे, let me ask you
Right.
this. There are two boats going out. One boat says, I am 100% sure that we will find land over there. Another
Okay.
one says, I think there is a possibility that we will find land over there, but it is also possible that we will not find land over there. And therefore,
Right.
I'm taking enough supplies that I can probably come back.
Right.
Which person would you think is more rational?
Of course, the second one.
Yeah, right. So we agree on that.
Yeah.
And I think the
Yeah.
conversation about faith and hope is immaterial. It does not matter. At the end of the day, the boat went on water.
It did, and that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Like, language covers such little part of our reality, I believe. Right? It's words and symbols, and it's a very interesting way for us that we have created as a species to describe this. I think a soup of abstractness um, uh, into clearly distinguishable things. Like there is a particular shade of blue that only the Nubian tribe in Africa can recognize because they have a word for it, and
Yeah.
we don't have a word for it, and we can't see
I've
it.
heard
So
this. Yeah.
yes, definitely. So language is a nice exercise, like you said, the things about hope and faith, right? But what I'm speaking is something outside of the realm of language. So outside
Then listen, if you're talking about something outside the realm of language, we can't talk about it, right?
we can't. Of course, like Ludwig Wittgenstein said, whereof one cannot speak, thereof one must remain silent. Of course, he said that. But what I'm saying is, my belief is rooted in respect of that unknown.
How do you know it is there?
Of course, it is there because it's infinite. Even science says that a universe is infinite in every aspect. Her dimension is infinite. So there is definitely more beyond the realm of logic.
I'm not
and beyond.
saying, listen, I'm not saying there is nothing out there. And I would agree with you when you say that there may be something out there.
Sure.
But how do you know that the thing we describe as God is out there?
No, I'm not saying that at all.
If you're not saying that, then why would you consider maybe there's a potato out there? Right?
Well, a
in
scientist would be
in
really
16th
happy if there's a
century,
potato out
in
there.
16th century, in
Yeah.
16th century, would it have been logical for people to think that germs were God? And would they have religious feelings towards germs? Because we did not know that microbial life forms existed.
Definitely not.
Right?
Of course
So
not.
that is
Yeah.
what I'm saying. I think
Yeah.
whatever we have not discussed, whatever we have not yet found, it is better to withhold our opinion about it, because it is entirely
Definitely.
possible that you will find that the universe is run by some asshole. It does not help to have feelings of sublime mystery about that asshole. If we don't know about it, why have any opinion about it?
All I know is life happens in this universe, and I cannot believe that it's an accident. That is, I think, fundamentally where I would differ.
Wait, could you repeat that?
I say life happens in the universe, right? Life, like look at us. This is extremely complex behavior of matter that you and me are doing, right? This
From
is,
our perspective, yeah.
sure, of course, from our perspective, but it's happening. Let's keep it to our perspective, right? For now, for the sake of the argument, and it happens in the universe, and it's clearly happening, and we can see this is what universe did. This is the perspective that was created. Even our perspective, that we are saying that, hey, this is our perspective.
Why would you
But
say it was created?
Okay, I wouldn't say so. I would be more careful with my words. I wouldn't say it was
Yeah.
creative. It happened.
It happened is a better word, yeah.
Okay, it happened, right? But it happens.
Yeah, it happens.
And fundamentally, I think the position is, was it a fluke and an accident, or was it something that can be described as a tendency of the universe, right? Scientists believe it's a tendency. That's why we are like spending so much to look out there for
No.
extraterrestrial life.
Listen. First of all, you have turned this into a binary where it's either a fluke or a tendency. We don't know all the possibilities that could have created this, could have caused this to happen, could have made this happen, right? So I don't think we are in a position to say that it was either a fluke or a tendency, whatever you mean by tendency. What do you mean by
Tendency,
tendency, by the way?
I mean, tendency means I would say uh,
That life was
tendency.
inevitable, that the universe was
I'm not saying it's
that it was.
inevitable, but I'm saying that it is something it does. That's it. Like, it clearly did it over here. And by did it, I don't mean agency, like universe did not think this. I'm saying it happens here in the universe. In a particular part of the universe, this happens.
So Anugrah, that is neither here nor there. It happens here, it has happened here. What is the conclusion we draw from it?
My conclusion is that this is extremely complex and we need to respect this.
From
That
our
is what
point
I'm
of
saying.
view.
Of course,
From our point of view.
Yeah, of
So
course.
there is a thing called the anthropic principle, whereby we look at ourselves and we come to certain conclusions, and those conclusions cannot be taken seriously. It's not the anthropic principle which says this. My point is that no matter how beautiful we think we are, or how rare we think we are, or how bad we think we are, or how terribly simple we think we are, it is just our opinion. It's basically one guy talking about himself in an empty room otherwise, right?
Okay.
Yeah,
definitely.
So we don't have any outside perspective. There is no.
Definitely.
If there was an alien species that we met tomorrow and it turned out that their evolutionary history was very different from ours, that they don't even count as alive from our point of view, right?
Right.
Then we can have a better conversation about our place in the universe. Right now, we are here. That's all I know.
Oh, yes.
We are here, right?
And
And
collectively,
I don't
we
feel the
believe.
need. I don't feel the need to overreach and come to any conclusion about why we are here, how we got here, whether it was a conscious agent who made us or whether we are an accident. These are all possibilities on the table. And when we know more, I will come to a conclusion.
Hopefully that happens within our lifetimes, man. Hopefully.
I doubt it, but hopefully, sure, hopefully.
Right.
Chalo. Thank you, Anugrah.
Chalo, nice talking to you, Vimoh.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
And last, we have Anil Kapoor. Hi, Anil.
Hi. Hello.
Hi.
Hello. Are you able to hear me?
I am able to hear you. Is your meeting over?
No, I just bunked my meeting. So.
Acha. Cool. Batao.
I was just working on some Excel sheet, and suddenly I thought that conversation which you had with Anugrah will never end. Suddenly you said, "Hi, this is Anil Kapoor." So I'm surprised.
Okay.
So anyway, so nice talking to you, Vimoh, and I think a few pointers from the other conversation. Okay, let's skip that. I mean, you have a rule that let's not talk about other callers. So I have a question basically. I mean, this is not an argument, but I need to find a satisfactory answer to this.
Sure, go ahead.
I don't believe. Before asking that question, I want to put a caveat that I don't believe in either side of the equation. I just want an answer to a question.
Sure, I'll do my best.
Yeah. So you have said that it's about religion and morality basically. So you said that morality is because we have a tribal instinct that we if we want to preserve ourselves, there should be a set of rules which we should follow. Otherwise, for example, murder, or if we do bad things, then as a tribe we might not survive.
Yeah.
Why at a collective level?
Social evolution.
Yeah. At a collective level, I think your logic works. But I am still confused from a individual level. So, for example, if I have a if I say devise a method wherein my crimes are hidden, okay, and the consequences of my actions, I will not see that in my lifetime. So what prevents me from doing a crime? I mean, at a collective level, yes, the tribe might not survive. But if I'm not married, I don't have any responsibility of passing something down my children. I don't care about anybody. And
you don't care about your neighbors.
Nobody. Yeah, that's it. Basically, I'm an evil man.
You don't. So no. see, my problem is that this individual perspective you're talking about is completely theoretical. There is no individual perspective, right? You came from your parents, so you're clearly.
Yeah.
If you are talking about being the only person on a world and you just popped into existence there and you had no parents, no family, nowhere, then it, you know, I can begin to think about it. But if you're a human being in a world, there is no such thing as an individual perspective, because you live in a house. The house belongs to either you or someone else from whom you have rented it out, so their welfare is connected to you. If you live in a house that you own,
No,
then your house is maintained by people who are not you. So you are not an individual perspective. You do have people that you should by rights care about. If you're a
no,
bad
but
person,
yeah,
is that
I'm an
what you're
evil
saying?
person. Say for example, yeah, if I am an evil person, for example, if
So
I'm a
what I was
politician,
talking
for
about when
example,
I said
yeah.
when I was talking about
So
social evolution, when I was talking about social
yeah,
evolution, I was talking about the kind of impulses that have been programmed into us through biology, right? So there
okay.
is a thing called stage fright, where we go on a stage and we feel, our legs don't move and our throat dries up, etc., etc. That happens because, presumably, what I have read is that the fear of rejection is a thing that has been programmed into us since early times, because we were tribal animals. If other tribal members rejected us and did not allow us to be part of the group, then we will be fending for ourselves, and we will be not very successful at surviving, because bears and tigers and all that, right? So
Yeah.
nobody who goes on stage is aware that this behavior is coming from evolution, but it still affects them,
Mm,
right? So
mm.
just because you don't have family members, don't have friends, etc., does not mean you will automatically become an evil person.
No,
And the
I'm not
point is
saying
that
I
the
I
point is that the point is not that you will naturally care about people. The point is that any nominally useful member of society will care about someone, because it's impossible to not to. And if
no
you
because
don't,
for
then it's a
example, if,
psychiatric issue and you should see a therapist.
no, I'm not talking about myself. I am just talking about a hypothetical being. Say for example, a politician. Okay, so if it's a politician who's a corrupt and
Hmm.
he has all the systems under his in his pocket,
Got it.
and
He
obviously
still cares about his,
and
this politician does not care about his children.
no, he doesn't have any children.
Okay, this
So
politician does not care about his own well-being. Like, hey, when he gets
no,
old, he will need a
his
doctor, right?
yeah. So no. So
The
his
doctor is
well-being is
someone he
taken
must
care.
care about.
Yeah. So he has a lot of money, and he can and he which he has gotten through cheating people and causing riots and killing folks, and then
Got it.
post that he's a happy get, and he's a kind of a person who doesn't care about anyone, and
What will he do?
the
What will he do?
consequences
What
of his action.
what? Hold on. What
So
will he do
so
with the
my
what will he do with the money?
no, so he'll just probably live a good old life, and he doesn't believe in
How?
anything life
How?
after death.
Tell me how. Tell me how he will live a good life without people.
Because he has money. I mean, he has people working
He
for him.
can't eat the
I mean,
money, na,
there are
Baba. I'm saying, how will he live a good life? Give me
no,
a
because
description of that good life.
the good life is he can buy a house. He can have a car.
From
He can
whom?
have a lot of stuff
From whom
from people.
will he buy a house?
From
Yeah,
people.
so he has to care
From,
about those people.
no, but his lifetime is so short that I mean, why should he care about them? He gives them money. They give them good.
Listen,
They give
Anil,
him goods.
what I'm trying to say is that it is impossible to not care about anyone. You still have to care about someone. You have to care about the existence of the shop from where you will buy food. You have to care about the person who will clean your house. You have to care about something. I'm not saying you will be in love with all these people. I'm still saying that their welfare will be attached to your welfare.
Yeah, but at some point of time, he is still doing evil stuff to get that money. And so, for example,
in order to
so
live a
he
happy
thinks
life,
that
right?
yes. So he
Which
has
he
done
can't do
a he has
without
done
caring for people. Which he can't do without caring
for
for people.
okay. I accept the fact that for some people he might care, but
Yeah.
he is a criminal. Okay. For
Yeah.
example, I'll tell you. I mean, there are host of people in politics and in actors who
Criminals
are
also care about
basically
some
bad
people, by
people.
the way. Criminals
Yeah.
care about
So
their families,
so
maybe
so if
someone they
criminal,
love.
yeah. So what stops them from doing a crime? I mean, clearly they have their selfish motives and they care only for a set of people,
The law,
and for
the
other set
law,
they are killing.
the law prevents
No,
them from
they
committing
they have
crimes.
no. So they don't have fear of the law. We have politicians who openly give hate speeches. There are
How do
people
they?
who
How do they? Listen. How do they protect
yeah,
themselves from the law?
they protect themselves from the law because they are basically running the government. So they
So
have the law
the
in their own hand.
person who will protect them from the law, they have to care about them at least. Their bodyguards,
Yes,
they have to care about,
yes,
right?
yes,
It is
yes.
impossible to not give a shit about anyone else, because other people's your welfare will always be contingent upon the welfare of other people. So it is not
Yes.
possible to be a person who only cares about himself. I'm
No,
not saying you're going to
no,
be
no.
in love with everyone, but you will still have to worry about other people's well-being.
No, yeah, I understand that for some people, but he's still giving hate speeches. He's probably, he's going ahead and inciting violence against people, which are evil deeds, and he is
Anil,
probably an atheist, as you said.
we're going in
That's what I'm
circles.
saying. No? So
We are going in
he doesn't
circles.
have
I have
any.
explained this 3 times now.
No. The problem is that individual accountability of the crimes is something which I want to understand. How is that?
I
Uh,
told you, the
uh,
fact that he has to be answerable to other people, even if he does not love them from the bottom of his heart, will keep him accountable.
no, for some people, no. There is a set of people whom he hates and he does crimes against. What
So,
about that?
or in the case of no human being on earth will the accountability from everyone. It's always some people,
Yeah. So what is the
right?
accountability? So how does that be? I mean, what is the incentive which he takes to be fair to everyone? There are
The
evil people, right,
incentive,
in
the
the world.
incentive can either be that I genuinely care about what happens to other people, or it can be if
Yeah.
I don't care what happens to other people, I will be in trouble. And I already
But
explained
clearly
how
that's
that
not
would happen.
working, right? But clearly that's not working, right?
Of course, it's working. So we have some criminals in society. That is not the case for people not caring about other people. Even the worst possible specimens of our society care about some people. Even if they don't love them, they care about them enough to keep them in
No, but
circulation so that they can at least help them.
there are bad people, right, in the society.
Okay, so now we get to the crux of your point. Are you saying that unless
Yeah.
a society has zero crime, unless a society has
Yeah.
absolutely zero crime, complete happiness and absolute satisfaction, everything is useless?
No, I'm not saying
Is
everything is
that
useless,
what you're
but there
saying?
should be a factor. No. I'm not saying that. You're not getting my crux. I'm saying that if there are bad people who don't have consequences of their actions,
There will
who
be
are above the law.
consequences. That's what I've been saying so far. There will be consequences. Always there will
No,
be
there are.
consequences.
No,
The
I'm
hate
saying that.
speech giving politician, as Shreyas just pointed out, he's giving a hate speech to impress a set of people he wants to please, right? So
Okay.
their pleasure is still part of his welfare, isn't it?
Yeah, but he's doing what he's doing wrong, right?
Obviously.
There should be
I'm not even talking
consequences
about
to
the right
his
and
action.
wrong of it. I'm talking about you trying to say that I said that morality exists because we live in a society. And you said, what if
Yeah.
we look at it from the point of view of someone on an individual level? And I tried to point out to you, that's what I've been trying to do for the last 15 minutes, that there is no such thing as an individual perspective on morality. Everyone is part of society. Unless you're talking about a living creature which popped into existence on some planet without any antecedents, or so without any parents or without anyone else in the world, it's not going to work. You're going to have to imagine a completely different kind of animal who's not a social animal. And we can't, I though definitely can't imagine an animal which is not social in any way at all.
Okay. So probably, evil people will have the consequence of their actions, right? That's what you're saying.
Everyone. No. I'm not saying it in the karmic way, as you are trying to imply. I'm saying that everyone makes decisions on the basis of how it will affect other people. Every decision is about other people.
Yeah, it is, but they think that what they are doing to, say, for example, a certain set of people, they'll get away with it.
That certain set of other
Or
people is also other people.
so they'll get away with a crime because they have the law in their pocket. They'll get away with a crime. For example,
Listen, I
they'll
think
get
I
away
think the
with corruption.
problem I think the problem you're undergoing is that you're becoming prisoners of these phrases, law in their own pocket. It makes a person appear fearless and independent. Even the most strong person who has a law in his pocket depends on other people. Stop using phrases like law in their pocket, does not care about anyone, and you will understand what I'm trying to say. Try to look at it more granularly. Even the person who you think has no worries at all has worries. They worry about losing something. They worry about keeping someone happy. They worry about losing the support of someone. But I suppose we have spoken
Yeah.
about this enough. Thank you, Anil. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.
Chalo. Bye-bye. Good conversation. Bye-bye. That was Anil Kapoor. Fun conversation. इसका अच्छा clip बनेगा. Let me read a few comments. Shreyas has said, what a man. Jackass. Dhananjay says, types of atheism, psychology or atheism by useful charts, a recommendation of YouTube video. Okay, I don't know. Shreya says he only cares about his beard and whether he's looking at the camera while his photo is taken. Again, even that person cares about a lot of shit. Shreya says, I'll do one better. All people who have any sort of power, no matter if they are rich or not. Okay, that's an answer to someone else. Vitruvian says, what prevents people from doing evil things? It is love. I'm not even sure if I want to use the word evil there, but we shall see. Okay, already saw that. Kavan says, what about a person who lives in the forest and depends on trees, fruits, and small animals for food? In their case, I think the definition of morality would extend to the animals that exist around them. They would probably think of trees as things that should not be, beings that should not be hurt. However, I will still point out that that person had parents. And even if they never met any parents, that person would probably not survive had it not been for other living beings around them. However, this is a completely hypothetical scenario. Except for Mowgli, who still found Radha, by the way. We don't have any examples of this. Right. So I think we can safely come to the end of this live stream of today. I'll just hold on. Music. Right. So if did, but there is no time now, so you can just go to the join button and become a member, or you can support this channel through Patreon at patreon.com/Vimoh. There's a monthly scheme and an annual scheme using which you can support my work. If you don't want to do that, you can simply go to my blog at vimoh.stck.me and click the support button and pay any amount of your choice. There is no monthly commitment. It's a one-time donation. If you do that, if you use any of these methods to send me money, you will be supporting the work of an independent content creator. I do this live stream and this audio goes on a podcast also. And I do some stuff on Instagram, but that is kind of coming to a close. So this YouTube channel is what I'll be focusing most of my energy on going forward. And I also make videos on my other YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/Vimoh. I mostly post shorts there. And if you want to listen to audio episodes of this show, you can do so at www.vimoh.in. You will also find there links to all the audio apps where you can find the podcast. You can also buy merch like t-shirts, hoodies, and mugs at kadakmerch.com/Vimoh Live. That's another way of supporting me. kadakmerch.com/Vimoh Live. There's a t-shirt called Sabka Malik Fake Hai, and there's a t-shirt called Woke Sabha is in Session, and there is one called Words Are Weapons, and there's a mug also. So you can buy any of these things and support me. You can also send me direct contributions at Vimoh@UPI. And with that, we come to the end of this episode, and I hope that you have had a good time. We had quite a few interesting conversations, and I hope to see you in the next episode, which will happen on Saturday at 9:30 p.m. Until then, I hope you have a great rest of the week, and be safe. And I hope that I hope to see you all in the next episode. Chalo. Good night.